This policeman went on a bender with his boss and brutally murdered him, but he was so drunk he didn't realize what had happened. And when they told him, he didn't show any remorse.
Dead? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir, he's dead. He was found dead between his bed and the wall.
The hangover was such that Michael Neely remembered absolutely nothing. He couldn't even believe what the detectives were telling him.
I mean, I'm feeling my hands. My hands don't feel anything. What's he dead from? I don't understand.
I mean, it appears that he's been beaten to death by all indicators that we have at this time that we can physically see. It gives the appearance that he's beaten to death. His head is very swollen, like we said. His right eye is completely shut.
The scene was macabre, and it was the hotel security and the maintenance manager who saw everything. He had received several complaints about disturbing noises, and when he went to check it out, he found the crime right in front of his eyes.
I'm going into the room, I'm not getting anybody to come to the door, and all I'm hearing is a grunting noise. They said, okay, you're authorized to go in. I went, opened the door, announced myself. I could not see anybody other than someone's feet on the floor between the bed and the wall. I walked in further, saw one gentleman sitting on top of the other gentleman, and I told him he needed to get up, and all he would do was grunt. I observed some blood on the sheets.
Michael Neely and Lucky Miller were like brothers, and they had traveled all the way to Florida to attend a conference on homicide investigations. But it all got out of hand. At the hotel, they watched the Dallas Cowboys game, drank a couple of beers, and after a while in the restaurant, they decided to drink vodka and go to the room they were sharing. From that moment on, everything went to black, and the noise complaints started.
Okay.
The statement that was given by the second noise complaint could hear a male saying, Mike, stop, and then it just went quiet.
Then the security manager would arrive and find the brutal crime scene, but in Michael's head there was nothing of the sort left behind, and in the interrogation it would become clear he had absolutely no recollection of what had happened the night before.
I mean, I know you're asking me questions, but can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Okay, homicide. Who is dead?
Dead.
Dead.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
As soon as he found out about the trouble he was in and that he was the only suspect in his friend's death, he decided to invoke his right to remain silent, but it didn't last long.
I guess I probably don't have anything else to say then. I've got nothing to say to you.
All right, sir.
Okay.
Did you advise him what he was charged with?
No, Michael, you'd be in charge of second-degree murder.
Okay. I had no idea what I was being charged with.
Yeah, you're in charge of second-degree murder, and you're fixing to be booked in the Escambia County Jail with no bond. And we've already notified your wife.
All the evidence pointed to the killer being Michael Neely, a detective who had become almost a part of Lucky Miller's family. The most striking thing was there was no reason for what happened, no clue, nothing.
Did you have any kind of animosity or anything like that towards?
Not at all. No.
Have you ever had a violent outburst or anything like that before when you were drinking?
No.
Anybody ever told you that you got violent when you drank?
No. Huh. Yeah, I can't believe it.
That was the phrase that was most repeated. Nobody could believe it. The police community was in shock. They had suddenly lost 2 officers who were really like brothers.
What makes this so difficult is we basically almost lost 2 officers in this whole deal. If this happened in a traffic stop, it makes sense. If this happened on a search warrant gone wrong, it makes sense. This doesn't make sense.
The trial would get all the attention from the media and clearly from the police department where they worked as well. That was the place where one by one, the victims' family members began to come forward to show their grief.
The loss has been deep. It's been dark. It's been relentless.
Most days I feel lost, like I don't know who I am or what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't feel like me any longer.
Pain and agony we are left with is indescribable. We are left to live the rest of our lives without our protector, provider, and as Carly described it, our superhero.
Michael Neely would eventually be convicted for the death of his boss and friend, Lucky Miller. The judge decided to sentence him to life imprisonment, so he will never again see the light of day as a free man. However, of course, as much as the sentence is given, and is the most harshest one that exists in the judicial system of that state, the grief in the victim's family won't go away, nor will they be forgotten in the police community of which they were a part of. Alcohol took a life, but it really ended up taking 2 officers, one to the grave and the other to jail.